welcome everyone to this very special edition of The Intelligent World. I am joined here today by Sandra Muro, our social media coordinator. And this is kind of our little brainchild. We decided to have a little limited series of Meet the Cast. And this is our little opportunity to interview each of us under 25 minutes and just get to explore each of our personalities, who we are. And it's just kind of nice. So you excited, Sandra?
I am really excited. I'm pumped up, and just can't wait to start the interview.
Yeah, so this is episode 1 and our introduction to Sandra Muro. So without further ado, let me introduce a co-host, a co-founder from back in the day, a very good friend, social media coordinator, kind of almost marketing director, so many things I can name. Sandra Muro, here she is. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, a little bit about me. I'm just a very creative person, so I was more than happy to take on such a creative job in terms of social media engagement, to also like being a co-host and help producing ideas for what has come and what is to come and everything. A part of the show though. I am a dance teacher on my free time. I teach ballet, tap, hip hop. I love teaching kids specifically. I think kids are just the most creative people ever because they have just a wild imagination. So I love working with kids, and I still work with kids at another job as well, working at a Party Princess company, whether it's being a character or as a fairy godmother where we do hair and makeup kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool that I get to be surrounded by kids all the time and just being surrounded by that imagination. On top of that, I love dancing, Disney, and I just love finding new adventures and seeing what's out there in the world.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So you talked a lot about dance, and so you say you're a dance teacher and everything. Is that also what you're studying in college?
Yes, I am studying dance right now. I'm actually going for my ABT certification coming up in March. If I pass that, I get to go on to the next level of certification. I do have to go through 3 levels of certification to get to like that highest ranking, but I'm so excited to get to that and just the new opportunities that come with it. I'm hoping to choreograph more than perform as I do get older, and I'm just excited for that to come for sure.
So you said ABT or EBT?
ABT, so American Ballet Theater. If you guys know what that is, great. Misty Copeland is one of the biggest people who probably stands out from ABT when you hear it. I love her and I look up to her as an inspiration.
Yeah, that's super. So what is exactly this whole thing entailed? This certification, does it certify you to be an instructor, or is that kind of what it is?
Yeah, it kind of does. So basically, I'm already a teacher, so I don't really need any sort of official certification. Really, when I was becoming a teacher, I just needed the experience, which I did. But to have it from a specific national company, to know that you're getting a certain specific type of education, it shows employers that, oh, like she's paid this much and she's put this much hours into her certification, and it just shows like how dedicated you are to that. So really, if anything, it is just a boost on the resume. But there are certain ballet or just dance schools in general, or who are like, you need to have like ABT certification, or you need to have a certification from this other company, which there are other national companies, but I chose ABT just because that's the one that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, well, that sounds awesome. And I mean, kudos to you. Super proud of
you
for that.
Thank you. Hopefully in March, I pass that test. I'm so excited. So cross my fingers, everyone.
Well, we'll be cheering you on. And of course, all of us, our close group, definitely will be here for you along the way. But that's awesome. And so I actually kind of have 2 further questions as part of this kind of like get to know you thing. And that's, what do you like to do like outside of dance? What are your kind of involvements? So let's start with
Um,
that.
oh yeah, of course. So outside of dance, I mean, I love sleep, if that counts. I feel like I don't get a lot of it, but I love spending time with like friends and family as much as I can. They mean a lot to me, and I love going on adventures. Right now, I go mostly on adventures with my boyfriend, so I've gotten to do a lot of stuff with him that I've probably never gotten to do before, which has been pretty nice. And most importantly, I love, 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 love my dog. I love spending time with him. We cuddle all the time. Obviously, the pandemic, there isn't much people can do. So, especially during phase one of quarantine, I did a lot of crafts. Again, I'm just a creative person, so that was kind of more natural for me. I did a lot of painting and tried, going on a little bit of hikes and just also, just trying creative things. For my little sister, I would put on like picnics and I'd be like, okay, we're gonna have like a picnic movie night. And like, if I'm being honest, like if it's anything creative, I'm gonna do it. Like
Mhm.
that's just where I thrive, compared to like others who thrive more, academically. I'm kind of more like on the creative side on of that. So outside of dance, I do still like to maintain and be creative, but just in a different outlet.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So let's then kind of wrap this little section up and ask, what are your future plans?
My future plans, I'm hoping to grow with this podcast. It's been really fun so far, and I think, wow, I mean, I've been having this much fun in the beginning. Like, how fun is it going to be like a year from now? I feel like it's going to be more fun because we've grown. So I'm hoping I can continue with the podcast, but as well, I want to continue with dancing. It's been one of like a really big dream for me, and I did get hired at Disney at one point, but obviously it's closed. I would love to be rehired as a performer, to perform with them. But at the same time, my performing days are being a little bit limited. I am old. Not really, but I kind of am in terms of like my body being a lot older and from injuries. So I'm hoping to more choreograph in the future and establish myself more as a choreographer than as a performer. So those are some big goals in terms of the future for sure.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Thank you very much for that little introductory section. And
Of course,
so
of
now
course.
we kind of want to tie this back into the brand a little bit.
Hmm.
So why don't we talk about how you know the group? Obviously it's a kind of a big group, but yeah, go
Right.
for it.
So I kind of know everyone from school. Daniel and I actually didn't get close till probably like senior year.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other at all, and we were even in the same Shakespeare play. And we still had no idea who each other was, but it was great because we were put in the same math class, and then um, we ended up doing a theater together, which was really
Mhm.
fun. I've probably known Matt and Marco the longest, just because I met them sophomore year. And then Chad and I knew Chad kind of sophomore year, but I didn't really become friends with him maybe until like my junior year, and that's when we really became friends because we had the same teacher.
Mhm.
And we'd always like we loved the teacher, but like we'd make fun of him. In terms of like Chris and Daniel K, um, and John. To be honest, I don't know them as well as I know the rest of the guys. I know Chris just because I had a class with him, and I know all three of them because they were in choir with Daniel, and Daniel also talks about them a lot. So I naturally knew about them, and we went to school together. But I'm not. I will say, like, I can't wait to get to know them since I'm not as close with them, and get to collaborate with them more. But that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's super funny. Just kind of quick side note here. I think maybe a little funny tidbit for the audience. It's so funny because we kind of crossed paths in the sense of like we knew people that
Oh
knew each
yeah.
other and everything
It
since
was
middle school
weird,
and
yeah. Elementary, like
elementary. Yeah.
it was crazy. I was like the people he went to middle school with is the people that I went to elementary school with. And I was like, no way, you know this person? Like, I know this person. Like, granted we don't talk to those people
Yeah.
anymore, but like we thought it was like hilarious that like that our paths had crossed before we even met, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's super funny. I think that's
It's so
just kind
funny.
of really interesting point, I guess. But let's actually talk about the history that you have with the intelligent world. Why don't we talk about that?
Yeah. So I remember Daniel asked me way back when it was around the world, it was in the Chapman studio. He was like, hey, like, does anyone want to come on to my radio show? And I think Marco was already joining us for that day. And I was like, yeah, sure, like I'm free, let's do this. So I went to the radio show and had a good time. And I was like, like, do you need help with social media? Like, I'll just like, upload this for you. And Diana was like, yeah, sure. And Marco, I remember at the end of it, he's like, you like to boss us around. You should be like our manager or something. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to manage you guys. You guys are too like high maintenance. Like, once you become big, you're gonna be too high maintenance. These guys are not high maintenance, but I do like to tell them what to do sometimes.
Sometimes we are.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's like, I mean, that caught my interest though. Like, like we could actually really do something with this. I think I joined in at the end of the semester. So at that point, I don't think I did. I think I did maybe like 2 or 3 shows. And then it was, kind of intercession, so nothing really happened. And then it picked up again once this, I think it was like a spring semester or maybe
Yeah, it was
a
spring of.
fall. It was some sort of semester that
Mhm.
started up again. Um, and we started the show again, and it was a bigger group at that time too, and we all kind of did our part of either coming to the show whenever we could. There was a lot of people in the group, so it's hard to manage everyone's schedules together. And just whenever I would come, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna take over social media for you. Or like if I wasn't there, I would be like, hey, do you want me to post something? And soon enough I got the passwords to everything, and kind of just took over from there, which was pretty cool. So it was more of me of like, you know what, let me just help you kind of thing. Let me just take care of this for you. You don't have to do it. And that's just kind of how it snowballed into what it is now. Of I was still in the group, and Daniel asked if any of us were still interested in turning this into intelligent intelligent world now. So I'm ecstatic to be a part of it. It's nice too to like do something besides like work, like my everyday like schedule, and it's kind of nice to just have a different outlet, because it doesn't feel like work. I'm working with friends, and it's nice to just be able to do that without it feeling work.
Definitely right. I mean, I think it's fun that we
Mhm.
get to kind of see each other at least once a week, or at least
Yeah,
once,
because like
twice a week, and
right before, like if I'm being honest, like I would text sometimes in group chats, but I'm not too big on texting group chats. And there'd be times where I hadn't seen Daniel or like anyone else honestly in like 3 to 6 months. And it was no one's fault. Like if there was no bad blood either. Like it was just like our schedules didn't mix. We were all
mhm.
super busy, school, work, etc. So it's nice to just like sit down. And I mean, I know for you guys, but also for me, like I try to join in on the podcast when I can, but it's nice to just at least we can still have that communication and sit down and just talk, which is pretty good.
Exactly, exactly. So with that, why don't I mean, I think you've already talked about what you do, but if you can kind of quickly summarize like why you wanted to be part of this.
Why I wanted to be a part of this, like I said, like it was a fun thing to do when it started beginning just as something super small, and now that it's growing, it's still really fun. And I still want to continue being a part of it. Like I love just being a part of an amazing group of people, and seeing where this could go. We don't know where it's gonna go, and a year from now, this like we could be huge, we could not be, but um I'm just trying to have fun while I'm on the road, just helping out and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess this last question kind of is, where do you want this podcast to go? You kind of spoke about that a little bit, but you want to elaborate?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I would love, like, it'd be really cool to just kind of connect with people and start collaborating with people. I mean, an intelligent world at this point is anything, right? Like we talk about like so many different subjects that it's cool to see the opportunities that we're going to be able to have one day, and it's cool to think about that, and cool to think about the people we're going to be able to meet one day because of this. And so I'm hoping for that future, we get those big opportunities and meet those amazing people, and just I'm excited to meet new people on this journey, and I hope for the future for us is successful. I hope we get a lot of viewers and subscribers, and that way we can connect to more people that way. Like, I think the biggest thing, like, I just want to, like, the biggest thing I really want to do, and what I see with us is just like connecting with a whole bunch of people. And because, like, I mean, I feel like at one point, like, I was a very soft-spoken person. Now I'm kind of on the opposite spectrum of, and if I can speak that opinion for someone too, and someone in the comments is like, "Hey, I feel that too," like, it's kind of a good feeling at the same time to help someone else be expressive in that way. So I think I'm just, for the future, to sum it up, because I know I said a lot, is I like the future for what I see with us is just being able to reach a lot of people, whether that be like 100 people, 1,000 people. I see us just branching out, to meeting a whole bunch of new people, and just having the opportunities for us to experience things and to spark new topics to talk about.
Yeah, well, definitely. Well, Sandra, thank you so much for
Of
sitting
course,
down with us and being our
of
first
course.
interviewee.
Yay!
Yeah,
Thank you for
everyone,
having me.
of course. I mean, we came up with this idea together, and just thank you so much
Still,
for
thank you for your time.
uh yeah, thank you. Audience, just know that we are looking forward to Sandra actually
So
producing her own
excited.
video in the near future. She
It's
has a great idea, and so we're really,
it's
really excited.
coming up. It's still in the rough draft phases, but it's getting worked on. I feel like for my female viewers, but also male viewers too. It's good. It's good for both genders. But I feel like it's gonna reach out a little bit more to the female viewers, and I hope that I can, because I'm right now the only girl on the team. I hope that I can be that speaker for you, in terms of those, in terms of anything with a group of guys. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're all looking forward to it. So keep your eyes
Yeah.
on that. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for watching this Meet the Cast
Mhm.
intro to Sandra Muro. Any last words you want to say?
Don't forget to subscribe and like, guys, whoever you are out there. I cannot wait to meet you guys. And Daniel, thank you once again for having me a part of this team and part of the show.
Of course. Thank you so much, Sandra. And thank you
you
so much for listening to Meet the Cast with Sandra Muro. Bye.